Okay everyone, welcome back. This is video tutorial number 3. If you haven't watched the first two, I would strongly recommend you do so, and it gets us to this stage. You'll see that we have the new map folder in the middle of the screen. We double click that, open up the files. We're interested in the map01i3d file. Again, double click on that to open up the editor. During this tutorial, I'll just be showing you how to paint details on the map. I'll wait for it to load. It doesn't take too long, and you should be familiar with this scene. This is where we left off on the previous tutorial. Now, there's quite a lot to this. I make no apologies for this being a bit boring, but it's very important that you get this right. First of all, let me tell you a little bit about the navigation speed. You'll see that I can navigate around fairly quickly around the map. This is the way I prefer it. When you first start the editor, that is drastically slow. You'll see the speed at the bottom right hand corner here, nav speed 67. That's what I've got mine set at. To change this, use the plus or minus keys on your keyboard, not the keypad, the keyboard itself. When you start, the nav speed is about 1 or something, I think, and it takes forever to get anywhere. I have mine set at 67. You pick the one that suits you the best, so you can navigate around quite a bit quicker. So we're going to be using the Terrain Detail Texture Paint mode first of all. Still a mouthful. When you click on that, you'll see that the map is divided into squares, and a percentage will be showing you what percentage of each item is painted on that particular square. Zoom in a little bit and you'll see that percentage change when we use the default paints. Right, first of all we'll go, it's this texture layer here is the only one that will change. This one here, doesn't matter what's in this one. When you're in this mode, there's only this one you can change. Ignore everything below it. It doesn't work on that on this paint mode. First of all, we've got wheat, which is a sort of yellowy colour. Grass, which is the default, so we use the grass to get rid of what we've got if we don't want it. Short grass, you'll find that used extensively around the cow zone. It's quite a nice texture, that. Short grass, we've got rock, which close up, as you can see, looks fairly nice. From a distance it looks pretty chronic, but that's what we've got. Put that back to grass to get rid of it. Then we've got beach sand. If you want to make a beach somewhere, you can put that around the coast. Gravel, which is one of my favourites. I quite like that gravel texture. I use it quite extensively. And also asphalt. Now, asphalt is handy for making roads, and you can make a road disappear off into the distance using asphalt. And you can see these values here in white changing. We've got 20% asphalt, 10% gravel, and 72% grass. So to change all that back, we just simply paint over it with the grass tool. So you can have a muck about with that, and you can change the default terrain paints. Now we're going on to something a little bit more difficult. You click on the Terrain Foliage Paint mode. Now the squares will disappear, and now we're ready to paint an actual field. First thing first though, to go back into this mode here, the mouthful mode we'll call it, it's best to paint down a little bit on the default, the bottom layer if you like, a background image, and I'll show you why we do this in a second. So let's just put down this wheat paint on the ground. So put this down first, the rough outline. You can change it after if you make a mistake like that, it doesn't matter. We can go back and change that once we've painted the field on top. Then we go to the Terrain Foliage Paint mode, and we're going to paint. I think we'll do barley, but First thing we've got to do is paint the terrain detail on the map. Now the terrain detail, I'm going to bring up a file here which is a very important file, and you're going to need to refer to this one quite a lot. This is available from the LS UK website. It's in the library section, which is a fantastic resource for following alongside these tutorials. It's in that source that I learned just fairly recently on how to make maps. I didn't have a video tutorial like this. So this is what we're concerned with at the moment, the terrain detail. We've got to put down a surface in which we then put down our crop. So the options are cultivated, we tick box 1, and that refers to these boxes here, the channels. You have to select which channels you want painted on for anything to work in this mode. So to put down the we'll go for a cultivated one. Tick box 1, which it is, it's the default. And if we wanted it to look like it's fertilized, we could also tick box 4. Box 2, it would be the ploughed texture, and if we just seeded it, it would be box 3. So we'll just go for the default one, box 1. Now the reason why we do this is because if you just put down barley, for example, on top of the grass, you'd be able to combine it, sell the grain and whatnot, but you wouldn't be able to go back over it and change that again. You wouldn't be able to cultivate it, plough it. You can't plough the ordinary grass areas. You can only replough and cultivate and then re-sow on this painted terrain detail. So it's very important that that goes down first and then everything else goes on top. So we'll paint our field. Now we're slightly out of view, so it's a bit blurry in the distance. Now I'm just doing this quickly. You'll obviously make fields far bigger and better than this. Take a bit more time over it and get the lines straight and everything. Now we've got our terrain detail down, we can change this now to barley. Now we can paint different stages of the barley growth, and we're interested in this box here, barley. First level, if we wanted it to look like it was just planted, we would select layers number 3 and 6. If I zoom in a bit, and then you'll see that using the left hand mouse button, that's almost as if it's just been sown and it's starting to grow. So that's layers 3 and 6. If we want it at second level, we'd choose 3, 5 and 6. So just click on 5 because we've already got 3 and 6, and that's the second growth level. Right hand mouse button to get rid of that, because we're going to go for the full Monty, which, going by our guide here, is 3, 5 and 7. So you can have the field start when anybody goes into the map, or yourself goes into the map, at different levels of growth. But we're going for the full Monty, 3, 5 and 7. Oops. 3, 5 and 7. See, there we are. So there we have a field of barley. Now obviously you would do the whole field, and you can do a field any size you like. Now you see the difference here. When you zoom out, you can still see the field. This area here where we made a mistake, quite simply go back into the terrain detail texture paint mode, still a mouthful, click on grass, a small circle, maybe not quite that small, and then you can go back over that, and you can go up close to the edge and tidy things up with this and make it all nice and neat. So there we are, that's how to put down a field. Now we've put barley down on here, in this mode here we've put barley down, but you can put any of these fruits down in any particular order that you want, and just refer to this file here to tell you which level of growth you want to start with. It even has stubble, barley stubble, wheat stubble. Select these numbers and you've got some stubble on there rather than fully grown. So it looks like it's just been harvested. Sugarcane, oats, potatoes, soybeans, they're all there. Now, I'm trying to keep these tutorial videos down to a minimum or around about 10 minutes. Much more than that and I can't upload them onto YouTube, so that'll have to do for this tutorial. The next tutorial we're going to save this now so we can come back to this for the next video tutorial, but alongside it we're going to import some buildings as if we're going to make a farm alongside our new field. Bit of a backward way of doing it, but there you go. Okay, so we're going to save this. There's two buttons you need to save. This one here, save terrain data. This is very important. This saves the terrain. If you've raised or lowered the terrain, you need to save that part of it. So save it, comes down here, density map saved in so many milliseconds, and then click on save i3D file. That will automatically straight away save it back onto our original file here. So once you've done them, you can close the editor and we're back to this file here. So video tutorial 4 will follow after this one, and then we'll show you how to input buildings and basically make your farm alongside the field. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.